What's up, everybody? We are back with another episode of Get On My Level. This is episode 13. We out here again with Life and Android. We're going to talk about some bullshit today. What's up, boys?
What's happening? Joy, did we lose you?
No, he's got a severe case of
Howdy,
penis bronchitis.
howdy, howdy, howdy. Sorry.
Now you're
It's
good.
all
You're good.
good.
Well, I didn't have a lot of news, so I had a couple ideas for other things we could talk about here in a minute, but we'll go over what little bit we do have. I did want to ask about, because I didn't really get a good chance to look at it. A couple of things Android posted.
Oh, he posted?
English be good these days, boy. Okay. He put in there something about Stardew Valley is an esport. Don't know much about the game. This is more of his forte. I've heard about it, but I don't know much.
Could you give us a brief little introduction of what the game is, Droid? Kind of.
It's kind of like a Harvest Moon kind of your Animal Crossing style game. You know, it's a farming simulator.
Okay,
basically.
Okay.
It's actually a rather better quality one, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It's developed all by one guy, and he's just been working on it for years, just adding stuff to it. It was like an early access game for a while, and then he released a full version, and all one guy. So good for him, at least, you know, as an indie developer.
Yeah. How does one make a fucking I know Animal Crossing, you know, Harvest Moon. How it went. How is that competitive?
Well, okay, you know, I asked the same question when I saw it, and I think to call it an esport is a bit of a loose term, you know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
but because it's not like it's open to everybody, right?
Mhm.
It's pre-selected teams of people who are competing in specific tasks within the game, and like, I don't know, you know.
So what you're telling me, it's instead of a quote unquote esport, it's a task simulator.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes
I mean,
makes a little more sense.
It's cool, like for them, because it's a little competition in which there's a prize pool, right? Like there's a cash prize, so whichever team wins, it's so cool for them, I guess. But cool little opportunity.
Everybody likes cash. Cash money millionaires. No, like I said, I've seen it. I have no, you know, like I've heard of the game. That's it. Like just heard of it, right? But I know nothing about the game, so.
Yeah, like I haven't played a whole lot of it. I've just played some of it. You know, I'm not super into it or anything. I just thought it was like an interesting little article. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it definitely is for sure because like, I mean, it's not one of your major titles, right? And when I say major titles, right, like something that has been out and has such a huge, like I know it has a fan base, but again, it's not a game that is in your standard competitive scene, right? So it's just like, what the fuck is even this? Like, don't even know what the fucking game truly is, and it's got a esport question mark. You know what I mean? It's kind of like,
how did we get here?
Yeah, right. Like, not necessarily hating, but it's just like, you know what I mean? Like out of the blue, like a non-traditional competitive game in any sense, right?
It seems almost like the kind of competitive tasks that you would see almost at like camp. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah,
it actually makes sense.
I didn't get a chance to look at your video that you posted in there, so I don't know if that has relevance or if you're just sharing that for shits and giggles. You never know with Android.
Oh, the Naraka Blade Point?
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say that looks like a cool little game to get into.
What exactly is it? Let me take a peeksies at it real quick here.
Imagine Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon as a battle royale game.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm looking at it kind of right now. Why does it look like they took what?
Well, it's new. It's newer. You know what I mean? So it's something to keep an eye on, I think. But it seems like it has one of those skill-based combat systems
So it's
that I think you guys would be interested in at least
it's like
watching,
an action,
right?
Yeah, it's an action RPG type. Looks like. Is it like MMO or is it just against? Is it pure PVE? Like I'm looking
No,
at
it's. I don't know that you would call it an MMO, right? But it's PvP, like it's online multiplayer.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm looking at it. Does it look like
they're battle royale matches, right?
Okay.
It's like a loot-based system, I think.
Yeah, it's what it's looking like. It's like what would happen if you took Genshin Impact and put it PvP? Sure.
Kinda, I guess.
Yeah,
you get to like customize your class and skill set and whatnot.
Yeah.
What have you? But you go into the matches bare, and you got to pick up weapons and items along the way and fight with them.
All right, I'm gonna have to check that one out. That sounds like
it actually looks pretty interesting. It's something to keep an eye on, I think.
Yeah, check out the clip that he put in there. It's like I said, it's pretty interesting looking. Of course, not knowing how a lot of it works makes it interesting. But yeah, like I'm watching.
I was watching some streams for it the other day, and they were saying like the consensus is pretty much that Dagger is broken. But I guess they were also saying that they're getting ready to do something about it. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, any battle royale, and then it's not like
for sure
traditional and it's something new. It's gonna have some broken shit. 'Cause I mean, fuck, COD's broken 90% of the time.
That's a fact. That's why I stopped playing that shit.
But yeah,
for real, people still play it though.
Is it?
Yeah, that's true.
Is it a free to play or is it? Where do I get it? How much money?
No, you gotta pay for it. It's like I'm pretty sure it's just $20 for the basic edition, or something like that. Maybe that's a markdown sale price, but when I was looking, it was like $20.
That's not horrible. And is it on Steam or?
Yeah, Steam.
Okay.
You can get it on Steam.
Cool. Yeah, I have to.
As far as I know, it's PC exclusive. I don't think it's on console.
Fair enough.
I'm sure somebody will port this shit, and if he's smart, he will. I mean, if he could grow the buzz.
Yeah.
I'm reading the article. It cost him about $40,000 to make. So, hey man, support. If you like this type of game, support. This shit is not my cup of tea, to be real with you, but I'm with anybody making their own fucking game and putting it out there to the public, especially if it's good. And the fact that it may become an esport is pretty amazing. Because this is a very non-traditional game for esports. Or at least in my eyes. Maybe I'm missing it.
Which one are you talking about? The Start?
Yeah. Stardew Valley?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, for sure. It's very niche. I think it's more for the community.
Check out the YouTube video of that one we were talking about.
Nah, I'm blown away by Stardew Valley. But I checked them both out. What was the name of that game? Naraka, whatever the fuck, Blade Point. That should look like it might be fire.
Yeah. Yeah, Stardew Valley, like it really isn't. Yeah, I can't say this without offending people. So fucking sorry. It is a really. I call it like a non-traditional gamers like lazy game, right? Like you just hop on there and do some shit.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's like it's another version of like a sim, right? Or like sim. What is it called? Yeah, Sims. The Sims. But like a little different, right? But it's got for me, it's the same premise, right? Like you're doing things without there necessarily being a quote unquote story, right? You just go do some shit and you're making stuff and
little activity based game.
yeah, they can be like for me it's like they're amusing and they can be entertaining, but I get bored hella fast.
Time killers, yeah. They're
Yeah,
time killer, that's it.
yeah, and I
But
but
for
I
that to
know
become
some
an esport is kind of bananas.
yeah. Well, I know people that play like Harvest Moon and shit for like relentlessly. Like it's dumb how much they play this shit.
People like farming items, dog.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I think it's either Harvest Moon or the other one. Like you can watch people they'll go for hours and like they'll be fishing and shit and it's just like what the fuck.
Yeah. This clip is hilarious about motherfucking what is it? About a minute and 20 seconds in. It's just a character in pink fucking slashing down on a character that is falling
Mm-hmm.
about 8 times. It just looked like some shit you would see in a fucking fighting game.
Yeah, yeah.
Motherfucker just spam one move on you all day.
Bro, the best.
It looks a little clunky though.
Oh, speaking of fighting games, do you guys know anything about that game Sifu?
No, not even heard of.
Okay, well, it's kind of just like it's like a martial arts simulator game. I don't know, like I don't know how exactly how you would describe it. I would just call it a fighting game, right? But it's also kind of action adventure-y, it seems. But it also has like an age progression system. When you die, your character gets older and you like level up or something. And
sick.
or it seems that way anyway. And it just got a release date the other day, and I'm pretty sure it was February 22nd, maybe 24th, 2022.
All right, I'm gonna have to look into that one because I've been wanting a fighting game so bad, bruh.
Well, I'm trying to think if I've
gotten a
actually
couple
heard
old
of it.
schools.
Like it's like the name sounds familiar, but I don't remember what I even seen on it. Like if I just seen the name and just kept going.
A while back ago, they released a first trailer, like a first look, kind of at the gameplay, and they released another gameplay trailer just the other day too, when they released the or announced the release date. So
fair enough. Yeah, I've been looking at games, playing a couple. If you tuned into the streams this week, you saw that I played World of Warships for a little bit. It's kind of fun if you're into that type of shit. For me, it's kind of like the equivalent of like an Ace Combat, but with boats. So it feels like a little niche. We tried to play another. Well, Android tried to play another game. I downloaded it, but I still haven't opened it. And it seems to have not worked, which seems to be a common issue, which made me laugh. What's the name of that game that fucking played the flying game that you got that kept on fucking fatal erroring you?
It was something. It was like Battle Pilot Simulator or some shit like that. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. He's like, God damn it just crashed again with fatal error. Like he can't even get it to open the game. So
yeah, that is hands down the worst thing about playing on PC. When your game just crash, like whenever we play COD and my game would just crash as I'm running through the woods. Right.
It do be like that every once in a while.
It's like, dang it, dude.
Off the goddamn desk.
But this is like I don't think it's just like a.
But no, I know what he's referring to is like a true game glitch or a coding issue.
Definitely a pure game issue. Again, it's funny in the regards that like we were, he got it because I was talking about like how it looks like Ace Combat in a way, right? And
and it was like a prompt from the Unreal Engine also, so it was like really a game error, a coding error. Like it's so stupid.
Yeah. So it's one I'm gonna like probably keep, and hopefully they figure it the fuck out, because like I said, me and Life, I think we played Ace Combat and shit. We liked those games.
Yep.
Kind of missed that. And it, like I said, it looks really good. Visually, if you go watch the trailer. 1 sec, I'm about to try to pull it up here. It was through Game Pass is where I got it, right? Yeah.
Even though I am cheeks at flying planes, bruh.
Bruh.
I realize I realized very early on that was not my life's mission. Like
It
Jesus,
looks like it is called. Why do I have? What the hell? Now I don't even see it downloaded in my shit.
they took it from you, bruh.
Bruv. It's looking like it on Unreal. Unless it didn't finish downloading, but I'm pretty sure it did.
Probably didn't finish downloading with your slow ass internet.
No, I had it downloading, but I don't know if I let it finish because I was hey, they got an update for humankind, so hopefully that fixes the bullshit. Need to look at the
Word to your mother.
forums to see if that fixed that fucking Xbox fucking Game Pass exclusive bug. Thank you for that. Where the fuck is this fucking game?
I'm about to go find out right now, Jack. But what other things are new out here? What else are we looking forward to, guys?
Well, that's what I was gonna talk
Do
about.
you guys like those old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games
Hell
on the
yeah.
arcade?
Are they bringing them back?
They're getting ready to come out with a new one.
This is what I
Basically,
never understood. The actual arcade version, where you walk the streets and whoop ass.
Mm-hmm.
Why did that version take forever to hit any console? And I can't even. I think it was on I want to say Xbox Live's indie game type shit. But that used to be the shit in arcades.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they released a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, it wasn't that. It was some other bullshit on Nintendo. Now this is just me showing my age, but that shit was trash.
Yeah,
But the
that game's
arcade
hard as
version
fuck.
was crack. Like that. Do y'all remember that? Damn,
I
George,
don't
you
know
got
for
the
sure,
TV
but I would guess that it was probably something to do with licensing issues.
I guess.
Just if I had to guess, I don't know for sure. That's just
Dragon, you remember that? Do you remember the arcade version of The Simpsons?
I remember seeing it, but I never played it.
Oh my god! Oh yeah, I keep forgetting you from a small town too.
Yeah, most arcades that we had around here were like your super big ones. Like we had the Mortal Kombat. What was that? The one with where you were fighting as dinosaurs. It was pretty popular. I can't remember the name of it. Primal Rage or some shit.
Yes.
Those were the two big ones in this area. And then you'd have if you were real lucky, you'd find a place that had the NASCAR, where you could set in the thing, and it would just eat your money. Come to find out that game was actually rigged to make you just keep pouring money. Almost impossible to continue on that.
Definitely.
Nice.
Yeah. But there was just no way, after, you could probably do 2 races. It was like the boat one, right? There was just no way to continue after X amount of time. It was just too hard. They made it that way.
So the games that I'm referring to, though, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Simpsons, basically arcade style. It was 4-player co-op side scroll game.
Like that side scrolling. Okay.
Yeah,
I played a virtual console version of that Simpsons game.
Yeah.
But I haven't ever beaten it.
Ever, because it's unfucking beatable, I swear. But those games used to be fucking amazing, and it took all the way until Xbox 360 for that version of the game to come out, and that shit used to irritate the shit out of me because at that point, I'm beyond it. It's beyond me. I don't want to play that shit. They got all this new hotness out. I'm talking polygons now. You know what I'm saying? My fighting now has a left punch, left kick, right kick. I'm whooping ass. I'm controlling his body. At that point, it was too late. But man, I used to love those games, bro. Arcades used to be the shit. Before consoles were booming, arcades were the fucking truth. But go ahead, I was just reminiscing.
Oh no, you're good. I guess it's being the new one though. I'm not sure exactly what it's called. It's just another one of those arcade beat 'em up style, but it's being developed by the developers of Streets of Rage 4, and they just announced that April O'Neil is going to be a playable character in it. So cool, I guess.
What's she gonna do? Get in the way?
Right. What you gonna do with all that? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. and
They,
she
they
go,
did used to
I'll
make
stop.
April thick though.
I'll stop
Yeah.
before we get canceled.
they ain't gonna make her ass thick because you can't, because you know why. It's some bullshit. She ain't allowed to have titties and ass because that's sexism. Fuck out of here. So we supposed to
Well,
put,
also she's like just a assortment of pixels.
yeah, like she
They're
gonna have
not doing the like full 3D models or anything, so
for them to make
I was
everybody
about to say something
happy. She gonna be a
offensive.
big old fat bitch.
hard to
Damn.
put a
All right,
dump
well, I
truck
guess we're being
on.
offensive. Fuck it.
No, it's not being offensive. It's for real. Like because you can't make her thin, right? Because and like no tits, no ass, because then you're
What if they
some
made April
sinner.
O'Neil? Damn, I almost said it in the worst way possible. Trying to get canceled. What if they made her they them? Like
I wouldn't be
gender
surprised.
neutral.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Make
Oh,
her
and
they.
the game I was talking about, it's called
Wingman
Project Wingman.
Ooh.
It's did not finish downloading. That's why I couldn't see it. There it is.
Told you. We
No, I wonder
Uh,
if you got a fucking fatal error too, because that's what it told me too. That's the prompt that it gave me at first, and I reinstalled it, and it was like, when I
No.
tried opening it again, it was like, nah.
The only reason it didn't finish downloading is because I started playing something else, and I don't have mine set to
Nah, I make
continue
mine stop
installing.
too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, it pauses and then you gotta manually go back
yeah,
in.
I started
Or is
playing
that-
World of Warships when I started downloading it, so it just killed it. But before we get to too many rabbit holes, there are two things that I did want to go over. It looks like Xbox One owners are mad because their consoles are currently bricking.
Welcome back to what was that, like 2004?
Yeah, that's definitely not good.
No
At all.
shit. Or back in like, when did the fucking PS3 come out? Like 2012, 2011?
Shit.
And they were catching on fire.
I remember when PS2s was having issues. That's
Mhm.
damn man, I'm an old man, Jack.
Yeah. And then the other article, because like I said, I don't want to spend much time on Xbox One, seem to be bricking, which is not good. So sucks for the people that bought those.
Damn, Xbox, what the fuck are y'all doing?
Mm-hmm. The other thing
First of all-
is, this is kind of where this is one of the rabbit holes I did want to go on. I just wanted to touch on this topic. I saw an article ranking the 10 greatest sports video games of all time. Of course, I'm going to go over the 10 real quick. I know Life's going to have an opinion or two about it, so will I. That's the main reason I wanted to go over it. But
Let's get
also, some of these will have some very nostalgia, kind of like we were talking about. They hold special places. Like, we're big sports games fans, me and Life are. But I also wanted to go over, like, well, we'll touch on it here in a minute once we go down this rabbit hole.
Like I'm gonna say this before you even go down the rabbit hole. If they don't put Madden when they put the hit stick in the game, that
Mhm.
version of Madden,
Mm-hmm.
they hating.
Yep.
They hating.
Okay, so at number 10, we have NHL 2002. Let's see. The reason they seem to put it is, this is one of the few times they put in future or like all the Hall of Famers, like actual season type stuff. Hockey. It's kind of like when they.
So they flushed it out basically.
Yeah.
They basically brought it up to speed with everybody, every other fucking sports game that's ever been put out.
I'm not surprised to see this entry. At number 9, we have Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2004. Tiger Woods games were fun.
That shit used to be crack.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead, continue.
Bro, they went old school. Track and Field 1983.
Bro, from Nintendo?
No, Atari. This is Atari.
I don't know about
And
that
the
one.
Atari Arcade. Yeah, this is super. This is like, I guess, the first one.
So my thing is if that's in there,
mm-hmm.
the Nintendo one gotta be way higher. Cause the Nintendo one, especially if you had the motherfucking the pad that you lay out in and you run on, oh my god. Oh my god. Go ahead, please continue.
We have Madden 2005 at number 7.
What did they say was significant about that one? What did they add?
This is when the throwing motions, running and catching.
Okay, they started adding the jukes and all that shit.
Yeah, the really good ones. Yeah.
So, and Madden did it right, but they didn't do it first.
Yeah.
It was a fucking football game on the original PlayStation that had the most broken jukes ever.
Game Day.
Was that the name of the game?
Yeah, you're talking about the Game Day from 989
Where you
Sports.
be sliding, where you
Yeah.
be square, your body is real square looking.
What? Yeah. What's Cat's name? That was the 49ers running back way back then.
Who, Ricky Waters?
No. It was after him.
Further back than that.
Garrison Hurst.
Oh, okay.
He was one of them in there, and I want to say it was like Game Day '98. He had a good season, and bro, you would spin move. That's when the B button became the button.
In that game, dog, the Packers were crucial, bruh. But okay, go ahead. Please continue.
Then we have at number 6, Wii Sports.
Hey, bruh. I ain't finding.
In my humble opinion, I think Wii Sports should be number 1. The Wii Sports Resort.
Yeah, okay, I was about to say now. I don't know about Wii Sports, but the resort, Jack, should be like number 2.
Yeah.
This one I can actually get behind. Number 5 is MLB The Show. It's the 2011 version, but it's also, this is when they're starting to refine MLB The Show. If you played MLB The Show, it's been it's been the baseball game. Let's put it that way.
It's the only baseball game in existence.
But it did like when it came out, it really did. It really did just it 2K'd the genre, right? Like it was so good.
Yeah. The problem that I had is it was always on PlayStation. So
yeah, of course. Guys. Number 4 is FIFA 12. Really, FIFA 12.
That's gonna be more your forte. I just really got into FIFA, but this is number 4. I guess we're doing worldwide ranking. This ain't just the U.S. I got my U.S. bias.
Yeah. Well, you'll like this one. Number 3, NBA Jam.
Damn, that's high.
But that shit was the fire back in the day. You got to remember, like everybody played that game.
No, I agree. It was hot shit back in the day, bruh. I'll never forget being at Six Flags and stumbling on it, because Six Flags was trying to get you with everything, Jack. They had a little arcade section.
So, let's scroll a little further down the list there. I've never played this one.
But hold on. The counterparts, and this is why NBA Jams was so dope. NBA Jams was so dope that it spawned its own genre of sports, basically.
It did.
So off of NBA Jam, you got NBA Blitz. Off of NBA Blitz, you got basically NBA Streets. You also got a real janky version of, I think it was Street Ball and One Street Ball. Mm-hmm. But basically, they just start introducing crazier and crazier moves into games that eventually translated into kind of what you see in NBA 2K and in other games. Like some of the brutality, some of the viciousness that we get to see in football games is because of NBA Blitz. They realized that the customer's palate was broad enough and advanced enough to accept that level of punishment. But go ahead, please continue.
Let's see. At number 2, we have Pro Evolution Soccer, better known as PES Soccer, number 6. It came out in 2006. They basically tote this one because it was like an arcade representation of FIFA, which a lot of people seem to like. FIFA is more of the, more realistic. This is the arcadey version. Again, I want to go ahead and get through the list real quick because you're going to notice something when I say this one. There are some games left out, and I feel that they were unrightfully left out. Number 1. Hold on. I can't.
We already at number 1?
Yeah. And
there's no mention of it.
Better do Wii Sports Resort.
NBA 2K17. I'm sitting here like, bruv, really?
So we 17?
No. That's my pick too.
But like 17.
NBA 17 was number 1 on the list. Yes.
What did they give? Please give me a reason. What did they add? They must have added maybe they added online play like the
No, that was
the
before
court.
then. I think.
I mean, like the court, the where you go down and everybody can just meet up on the courts. So I might be able to understand that just a little bit, but
the course of second players.
all right. So where the fuck is NBA Live? Because that used to be one of the greatest basketball games ever. That should have been in there. Uh, damn man. Now like that one just frustrated me so much. I forgot some of my other points. Shit. What?
Uh,
That's number one top.
yeah, they're basically just they're saying it was a better version of 2K16, and that's the reason. I'm telling you, I never. When I saw this list initially and I looked at it, this is one of the. There's two reasons I picked it. One for the nostalgia reasons, right? Right. There's a couple in there nostalgia, so that there's certain things we could touch on off of that I wanted to talk about. Number two is I knew that we were going to have issues with this list in its omissions. Like you said, the NBA Live. I played NBA Live for years before I played 2K, right? It really was a really good game for a long time. I want to say one of the last ones I played was when Jason Kidd was still in the league and he was on the Nets at the time. And it was still the New Jersey Nets, old.
The only reason 2K took over live is because 2K came with like a story. It came with it really was the juke moves, honestly. The crossovers.
Mm-hmm.
Live had them, but they wasn't as flagrant. Like you could cross somebody over, but like it would be like there was little glitches like you cross somebody over and they bump you, you stumble back, you would automatic from 3 after that stumble.
Yeah, the good old EA. Well, what is now like a 2K issue because
Yeah. But damn, bruh, no honorable mention, no nothing for NBA Live. That's kind of crazy.
I'm not even
up on NBA Live. Like
I wasn't one of the ones that was a huge 2K fan, and I'm talking about the NFL version. Like I didn't hate it, but
and then
it's not even on list.
Yeah, I could already tell you something that's going to bump number 10 off the list. Give me any skate game.
True.
That's a sport.
Yep. Well, hell, the Tony Hawk's.
Skate's the shit.
And I don't like that they didn't put any technical racing in there either because those are still sports, and some of those.
Right. Give me Forza over. Shit. Anything from 6 all the way. You know what I mean? From 6 to 10 could be. Forza could replace it. Gran Turismo could replace it.
True story. Again, that's one of those things. Like I said, that's why I picked this article. It was really, we haven't really done anything like this.
And I boo that article.
Yeah, exactly. I know we weren't going to be too happy with it because, like I said, there's no NBA Live, there's no, NFL 2K. Like even it was short lived. It revolutionized. It made EA push further, right? Like the Madden 2005.
What it did is shit. This is how good NFL 2K was. NFL 2K was so fucking good that EA said, I'd be goddamn if I let anybody else make another NFL game.
Yeah. And well, not only that, but
using licensed players and teams.
That 2005 version is off the back of 2K games and like their rivalry with that. That's why this game was so much more crisp. That's why it's noted as like the player physics and all the movements were better. It's like, yeah, they had to because 2K had that shit.
Yep. 2K gave you the moves that you wanted. And that was the dopest part about 2K. 2K pushed the envelope. They seen how players played. They understood what players wanted, and they gave us the fucking moves. So for it to not even get an honorable mention, it was kind of, to me, I guess, in my mind, the things that shake the industry are the ones that I feel like should be on this list. Because it was a pivotal point where you had to shift. Like, oh, shit, we was doing it this way. They dropped this, and now that's standard. Like, that's law. Like, if your game doesn't have a juke move, a crossover stick in it,
It ain't
The
shit.
game ain't. We don't even want to hear about it, bruh. The shit ain't gonna be worth a goddamn.
Mm-hmm.
But damn, man, that's nah.
Exactly.
The ones that they got right though, to me, Tiger Woods,
Yeah.
definitely. That game was fucking stupid fun.
Yeah, if you're like the industry standard, then you deserve a place. Like, you know, me, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm happy about the Madden that they picked, right? That one especially. I'm not saying it was a good one. 2005 was a good Madden, right? Don't get me wrong. But
I mean,
man,
the problem with that is there's so many versions and so many iterations of Madden. It's hard to pinpoint
yeah,
which one was like the best.
yeah.
But for me, I'm like, bruh, it's so many. Like for there to be a top 10 and they don't even really cover all sports is kind of weird. They
Yeah.
only really cover the major sports, and then they threw Wii Sports in there. Which don't get me wrong, Wii Sports is fire, but Wii Resorts, like Droid said, is the one. Like that's it. The Wii Resorts was the truth, bruh. Like that's the game that made me in 2020 go buy a Nintendo Wii. Cause
And that's a
I'm a
statement.
ping pong your motherfucking ass to death. Yeah, I can play that game forever, dog. I'm gonna play the frisbee game where you throwing a motherfucking frisbee to the dog. That is my shit. Cause I mean, dog, you gotta work the wrist, bruh. If you let your wrist wiggle just a little bit, bruh, that motherfucking frisbee do whatever it want. Frisbee golf was on there, fire, crack, motherfucking. What else was on there? Bruh, it was just so much shit. The tennis was trash though.
True.
That shit was trash, bruh. No, that game was the truth, bruh. Like it had, and oh, I'm forgetting, it had bowling also, bruh. Like, and you could you could put real spin on the ball. Like, stop it, fam.
This kids
Like,
is
look
why
at
I
the
picked
Good
Rocket
shit.
League. Like I said, I knew this was gonna cause a little bit up, or we're gonna have a good rabbit hole for reasons why this XYZ. But it was also to kind of like some of some of the games that we talked the Wii,
Yeah,
some
and
of
I
those
just
have.
want them to know, Rocket League is also a sport, man.
Mm-hmm.
Car soccer, bruh. Hands down. If it ain't in the top 10, it's got to be number 11 because this shit is the most creative sporting game that I've ever played.
While I feel a little biased saying that, I don't disagree. It
Like for an outside the box sporting game,
mm,
I haven't. I mean, there's not going to be very many. It's kind of a niche category,
yeah, for sure.
but this shit is creative, bruh.
That's
Everybody that
true.
I show it, although they may not be able to come in at that level, and they probably get frustrated because they've seen the highest of the high.
Mm-hmm.
When they're watching it, there's a little bit of interest there. There's
Yeah.
Shit, you could do that
Yeah.
into the game.
Like, okay, so to touch on that, right? We play a variety of games, right? For a viewer, right? For a viewer, I play League of Legends. That game's hard as fuck for a person just to sit and watch. Now, it's not a sports game, but that's what I'm trying to get at. Humankind Civilizations. They again not sports games, but it's also the ease of view, right? Sports games were innately just we know what's going on. Rocket League facilitates that because it's cars, but it's soccer at the end of the day. Ball,
It is.
net. It's simple, right? But it's so complex, and like a person doesn't need to know that what a triple fucking flip reset is. They just know like after watching like their nephew play and not be able to hit the ball and somebody do that, they're like, oh, it, you know what I mean? Like I don't have to explain it. Because my girl, she loves watching me play Rocket League. She's like, it's easy for me to see, and she's like,
there's not much to it.
Yeah, she's like,
honestly, it's a very straightforward game. So watching it and identifying what it is happens immediately.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
But yeah, it's one of those games like, and especially now it's free to play, right? So somebody watches you play it and they're like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna go try it out. And like, if you can do a couple wild things, you don't even have to do the fucking flip resets. If you can just do a good aerial, they'll go get the game and try to just hit the fucking ball and be like, how do you hit it so often? Common number one thing I'm asked, how do you hit the ball so often? And they're not talking about aerials, like, you know,
Nah, they
flying
just
up in
hit
there.
the ball.
They're just hitting the fucking ball. And it's
Yeah,
like,
in the beginning, just being able to hit the ball, becoming coordinated enough to hit the ball consistently is difficult.
Yep.
It's like fucking watching a baby deer walk. It's fucking hilarious. You're gonna fall alive, baby. But
You go follow
man,
up.
you know what else? You know what else? I just realized that they didn't even fucking mention, and I'm just scrolling through shit of just
Mm-hmm.
games. How is there no fucking fight night on here, Brad? Like
UFC Fight Night. The first or second UFC should definitely be on there. I
that's
think
what
UFC
I
2
was
was
gonna say
bad.
that also.
I think UFC 2 had bugs, but it was still a fucking. There's no other game like it. How is it not on there?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like they should have just broke this down into categories. I feel like what they tried to do was just cover all the games that were kind. Maybe these games weren't even pivotal that they named. I don't know how they built this list out, but I feel like they should have. They should have, if they really wanted to make this interactive, and maybe they did. Maybe they put it out there for a vote. We just didn't see the polling shit. But what you do is you put it all out there, and it'll still be wrong. There'll still be some disagreements, but
Oh yeah.
for the most part, like you gotta categorize this shit. Like it should be like there should be a football game in there or two, because there's been a couple of football games. There's been along the process. There's been
Mm-hmm.
at least 2 to 3 football games that were like, oh my god, we've just taken a whole step forward.
The
Same thing with basketball.
the not the first 2K, but the second one. It was just lights out.
Yeah,
Blitz, the OG Blitz. That was
yeah,
the NBA Jam of football.
yep. And it
Um,
was fucking the
mhm,
truth.
mhm. The either the game day, you know, like I talked about, or what was there was that one that was on the 64. Fuck, what was the name of it?
I don't know. I have to look that one up. Give me a second. I'll look it up. But go ahead and continue.
Those were good as well. And like this at the time, Madden was still out. This is when you still had John Madden on the cover, right? Like this is that era.
Oh yeah.
So you had like you had Blitz, you had Game Day, you had like three. It was like Quarterback Club or some shit. Was the other one? They all had their unique things. But you can't forget them because at the end of the day, each game had to start like quote unquote stealing from the other game to bring that in their wheelhouse, because if you didn't, then your game's trash, right? And the
Yep.
and the companies that got it right were the ones that stayed around the longest.
So I'm gonna name the and maybe it's not in here, but Madden 64 was one of the games, but there's also NFL Quarterback Club.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
That's what I don't remember that one. By the time we got to this point, I was so locked in on shooters. Fucking salute to motherfucking GoldenEye for locking down
Mhm.
N64 for me. Because between GoldenEye and oh my god, how did they not mention wrestling, bruh? Is wrestling not considered a sport?
I guess
Maybe
not.
not. But say, man, N64 wrestling revolutionized that shit, bruh.
And
4 players, and
yeah,
you get to do all the moves that you've seen on TV,
the
Jack.
the game
All
you're
the
thinking
magic.
of is Game Day '98. It has the bus on the front of it.
I think I like that too because he was with St. Louis still at that point, right?
No, he's in a Steelers uniform, but this is like
Oh
probably
shit!
yeah, this is probably like the first time. But yeah, when you talk about the blocky characters and stuff, like
Yeah.
like I can even show. I'll send you the clip. Like you'll feel nostalgic as fuck just looking at this shit. It's mad dumb. But yeah, this is the
And
one I owned. I owned the game days. I didn't own the Maddens.
But
After
this is the era we were in. Cordell Stewart of the Pittsburgh Steelers is on the cover of Blitz. And he was like the ultimate Blitz style player
yeah,
because he was Slash. He was able to do everything.
bro, look at how bad this looks. Oh my god,
Oh, Doc, try to go back and look at these games. It'd be like, how did we do this?
bro.
But that's not the point. Because at the time, the shit was amazing to us.
I'm telling you. He throws the 80-yard bomb that looks just horrible.
I mean, because the blockiness of these characters is, and excuse me for coughing, but the blockiness of these characters is fucking insane.
It's unreal,
But
bro.
at the time, dog,
That shit was fire.
salute to my friend Mac, man. I used to go over to his house and we used to play the shit out of this game, bro. We was fucking, oh man, we was junkies. But that shit used to be the funnest, bro.
Yeah, really. Like I said, Game Day was the one that I was a fan of because I had a PlayStation. My friend had a 64, so he had Quarterback Club. I want to say it was after the Super Nintendo. I didn't own a Madden until it was the staple, right?
See, so we had damn, and I'm gonna really take this back. I was a fucking kid at this point when Nintendo had a football game. Man, my dad used to play. I think it was at John Elway football, and then Madden came on the scene, and oh my god, that shit was the truth. My uncles used to come over, dog. I think that's where I got that gaming bug from, man. My like seeing my dad and my uncles all huddled around the TV playing each other in football games and shit like that, and talking shit and gambling and smoking and everything else. I ain't pick up on all the habits,
but most of them. A good one or two.
Oh man, but it was just fucking great times, dog. And it was all new to us, and shit looks so like when you go back and look at it, you be like, what the fuck were we on? But at that time,
state of the art,
it was fucking amazing, bruh. And shit, track and field, and this is what's crazy to me, and I'm surprised it's not on this list because it should be. Track and field from Nintendo was hands down one of the greatest sports games ever. And it's the only thing to me that, and this is why I'm kind of with Droid on it. Wii Sports should have been like number 1 or number 2 because track and field was basically Wii Sports before we had before we could actually be the person in the game. I mean, imagine at your house, right? You got the fucking track and field pad laid out. There's 2 dots, 1 dot for your left foot, 1 dot for your right foot, and you could have multiple people in a game. So there was a red side or blue side. So me and my brother side by side in our living room running, and the game is half-ass respecting our ability to run.
Emphasis on half-ass because that shit used to be jank sometimes.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I mean, we got to the point where you can't run that fast. These motherfucking computers running his ass off.
Bro, you ain't ever seen get on your hands and knees and just start.
I was just about to say it. So I haven't even got your ass whooped one too many times. You drop right down to the floor and motherfucking left right that shit with your hands.
Bongos.
And at that point, my mom got a little upset and irritated at us and was like, "You could do that shit with a controller. Why the fuck do you have me pull this mat out every time?"
Yes, sir. You already know. You're making a bunch of fucking racket too.
Oh yeah, that is a fact because you slapping the shit out of this motherfucking pad.
That pad is loud as well. That's like the old DDR pad, like not the.
I was just getting ready to say it's the same shit as Dance Dance.
So fucking loud, bro.
Yep.
Oh my god, that shit's mad funny.
Loved every second of it. That shit was the greatest. Like to me, probably the greatest sports game ever. Number 1. But I mean, I guess maybe these were kids. Maybe they never experienced that shit.
I mean, there's a chance. Like
it's hard to go back and play it and be like, oh yeah, that's the greatest game ever. At the time in the '80s, in the '80s, bro, that shit was the truth.
Yeah, and that's where you start getting into like the semantics of what makes a game good, right? And a lot of people don't understand. It's like sometimes like the older games, a lot of things could make a list based on it was a non-broken game, but the game was actually trash, right? Some of these games were broken as fuck. They were cheap, you know what I mean? there were glitches, whatever, but they were still mad fun. And like probably had
It
some
was
of the
all
best
about
features.
replay,
Yeah, some of the best features in the games. But you can't tell me it's a bad game because it had glitches because look at Call of Duty, suck my dick and die.
bro. Look at every Madden.
Yeah. Every
Every
fucking Madden.
Madden.
Every fucking Madden.
My favorite is if you just delay your fucking blitz for 2 seconds, gaping holes open up in the line.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what?
Now, one of my favorites is still the fucking bullshit nano blitzes, but we're not gonna go into that. Uh but that, like I said, that's why I wanted to touch on this. I knew we could discuss it pretty in depth. Because
Yeah.
there's, I mean, we could literally make damn near a whole show about like some of the nuances of that, right?
Facts.
It goes to show like how each generation can perceive stuff. Because like I said, I don't know if this was all based off of like a younger person doing it. Maybe it's some of the older cats that just they're so enamored by the new shit, right? Because that does happen, right?
My thing is,
No, like I said, NBA 2K17 is my pick for number one. Also, no, that's also my pick.
my whole thing, my whole thing is just like, okay, how do we factor in replayability? Because for the most part, I'm not going back to play any Madden.
Yeah.
If it's not the current year Madden, I don't really want to play that shit. When I look at games, replayability is an extreme factor for me. Forza, I could play that shit anytime, any day. Wii Sports, anytime, any day. Track and field, anytime, any day. Rocket League, anytime, any day. Some of the FIFAs, I mean, don't get me wrong, Madden as a whole, anytime, any day, but I'm not going back to those games from
Yeah, there's a new version each year for you to.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess maybe replayability is we're just saying, yeah, you had to buy Madden every year, but Madden is a continuation. It's just we're in goddamn season 32 of Madden.
Yeah.
But
something like that. Yeah, I know.
so I guess replayability it's there, but it's just carried over through all the iterations of the game.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's also like you could have like Madden 21, right? And you'll just play the fuck out of it. And even if you don't buy the newest one, like you still might go back and play a game or two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the ideal is you're going to get each new version. Like you're not going to, like if you get an itch for playing football, you're going to play one of your older ones and just be like, oh, okay, cool. And I'm over it. You know what I mean?
And that's why I stopped bad Maddens, bro, because I was getting over it way too fast. Like there was the 1 year where we all bought Madden, the whole AGT crew. That shit was fun, but even like towards the end of that shit, it started to be like, all right, bro, I'm tired of Madden.
Well, a lot of it's because most of the group started falling apart after the first season. Like
true.
And not like not bashing anybody or nothing, but it did like the skill variance really started the show like really bad. Yeah. And when you have like 4 people that can actually like,
and that's exactly I was just about to say.
Yeah,
there's only 4 of us who's actually good.
Yeah,
and would stick around.
Yeah.
It was me, you, Soy, and Vader.
Mm-hmm. And everybody else, they'd steal games from us or whatever. Like they were upset because they couldn't do X, Y, Z, and it's like, well, like the rest of us have made time for this, right? Like we committed to it, so like it is what it is.
Yeah, I remember there was that year I had main motherfucking Madden, and I was in damn near every Super Bowl.
It was me and you. I think 1 year, you and Soy were in the same
division. Yeah.
Yeah. And I had somebody in mind. Oh, what's her face?
No, you had Vader.
Well, I had Vader,
and you had Cat.
Yeah.
You had Cat too. Yeah, that is right.
And she had smacked the shit out of her because she tried that bullshit.
Yep.
So what I'm referencing, it was like one of the last years of Eli, right? And it was when Odell first got good, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's all she did. And she tried to run the ball every once in a while, but at that time, the run game wasn't so good for her, unfortunately. So it was literally ISO dive or Odell in the slot running a fucking fade, and it's like, oh, okay, so I just cover the fade and like I'll let you run it because you know what I mean? Like you'll make the mistake, right? Like sooner or later you're gonna get greedy and want that highlight play, because that's 90% of Madden players, right?
Yep.
Like I'll let you nickel and dime all day, but you're gonna get greedy, and I'm gonna be there for it.
Oh man, I remember Vader. Was it Vader? Yeah, it had to be Vader. Vader would he would run a shadow defense with his basically he would take his deep safety and just kind of use him as a free safety to cover everything.
Yeah,
Man, it took me so long to figure out how to beat that shit.
it's a
But
pain in the
once
ass,
I
but once
did,
you do, it's
I
over.
beat him in the Super Bowl because of it. Because he tried that shit on me, and then I figured it out. But ooh wee, man, that boy had a defense that was ugly. Like anything deep, anything over the middle, kiss that shit goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get a running game on his ass, embarrassing. But
It
nah,
do
go
be
ahead.
like
Please
that.
continue.
It do be
I'm
like
sorry.
that.
I went
No,
off
you're
on my own little tangent.
no,
But
you're good.
also, man, Fight Night wasn't on that fucking list, and I'm aggy about that. Like, come on, bruh.
Yeah.
Like, Fight Night was the truth,
Mm-hmm.
and it needs to come back low key. Like boxing, the sweet science, baby. That shit was fun.
Yep. Like it's a game that I played. I didn't play it religiously, for like obvious reasons. If you played fucking Fight Night, it's kind of like the UFC game. It'd piss you off after a while, so you played it until it pissed you off,
Yeah.
and it's
Well,
gonna piss you off.
UFC was good, but the strategies in UFC suck.
Well, that's if you're
So
playing against
if you
other
play
people.
online, yeah, if you play online and they're playing strategy, it just it made the game so terrible because motherfuckers would just immediately go to their back because they would pick strong characters in grappling in ground control and jujitsu type moves. So it would just suck. You'd be like, bruh, no, I'm gonna kick you from up here. And if you get in range, they can kick up, and it was a fucking devastating blow. So man, yeah, no. But UFC was dope, but no mention. I'm kind of baffled by the list. I'm perplexed.
You're perplexed.
Yeah.
I feel that. Again, I feel that like I said, I knew there was going to be things on it that really gave us like strong talking points about like stuff that we used to enjoy or why we used to enjoy it. And it's like it's not just nostalgia. It's like a lot of these games really were like the paramounts of what they did, right? Like
Yeah.
It wasn't just that like, oh, we just liked Fight Night. Like I wasn't a big boxing fan. Like I watched it growing up, but I wasn't like, a huge boxing fan. The only reason I even fucking played a Fight Night is because a friend of mine let me borrow it.
Yeah.
And I got hooked on the shit. That tells you that the game's good if you just sit down and play it and you're not like a
Night was
fan.
fucking awesome.
Yeah. People that aren't even boxing fans play the fuck out of Fight Night, right? Like I didn't know half the fighters I was playing. If the game does that, then it's a good fucking game. Like it's a great game. I don't like golf, bro. I'm playing fucking Tiger Woods, G.
Bro, that Tiger Woods was so fun, dog.
It was mad fun.
That new Mario Golf shit is fucking hitting different, bro.
There's a Mario Golf out there? Oh.
Yeah, the one on the Switch. It's so good.
Boo.
I knew that was coming. It's just I don't know. Like yeah, that's why I wanted to put that on there. Is there was a lot of things that I knew that was going to get us kind of fired up about different stuff. So, some of them were good mentions. At least the franchise in question was a good mention, right? We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, it was mainly a talking point to go over like what it was kind of like what you were talking about earlier. if you're looking at like the gaming landscape, right? Because a lot of games have come and gone. What are we missing, right? Like, there's a lot of stuff everybody wants reboots or continuations, right?
I'm tired of reboots and continuations, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, but at the same time, like you look at stuff like the Forzas, right?
Yeah.
We're all ready for a new Forza, but what other games were there like not necessarily in that vein, but like they weren't just the racing games, like the Need for Speeds, right? They're kind of clawing their way back into the fold. But for me, like you had the old test drives, and there was a like those used to be mad fun, but then they tried to go like a little too Forza esque, but like they were on the arcade end of Forza. When I say arcade, I see Forza as a arcade simulator, and there's a reason, right? Like it's got sim aspects, right?
Yeah.
But it's still
Definitely.
fucking arcadey as fuck.
That's true. Very true.
Like, and
Extremely true.
people try to say it's my bias for PlayStation or whatever. I'm like, no, you go play fucking GT Sport right now and then play Forza, and you're like, okay, yeah, that's night and day. And I'm not saying GT
There's
Sports.
another game that's a fucking nightmare to play, but it's only a nightmare because it's so realistic in racing.
I think you're thinking Project Cars.
Yes.
Yeah.
That shit, bro. Everybody who bought that shit complained like this shit is trash. The steering is horrible. The this, the that.
No, that's just like that's what you get when you actually have to like not ride a wall.
Yeah.
And they can't handle it. And that I can't remember. It was a couple people that were like, "Oh, if you get it, you won't be able to play it." It's like, no, like I get that it's a sim racer, like, and it's going to be hard, but it's like I'll adapt to it because I've played more of that genre. Like, if you play Gran Turismo, you're not going to cook it through the turn, mash the brakes, and turn right. It's not fucking happening. You got to learn braking zones, right? Like, you have to know. You find things on the map to know, like I've got to start braking here. Or I'm cooking through the turn, and that's bad.
Yep. Definitely, as you drive the map, you start figuring out your braking points. You learn your braking points. You look for indicators on the road for like that will be there every time you come around.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, that's part of the game.
That's part of sim racing. Like you just can't willy nil it through.
Yeah, you can't just break it and pray.
And even like in a lot of arcade games, like if they're not like pure arcade, those elements translate, right? Like that's why we used to smack Bigsby all the time on Need for Speed because he would just try to barrel through a corner. That's not gonna work, fam. Until we learned, well, it did until we learned that this motherfucker didn't have damage on.
Yo, I'll never forget that game. This motherfucker, we trying to drive gently and slowly through this map as to not damage our car. This motherfucker is flying through the map. Like, bro, how are you so far ahead of us? And then that motherfucker came around and hit me. I was like, wait. Shit. Well, no, there was no damage. That's how I realized there was no damage. He put me into a wall. I'm like, oh, my car's about to die. And nothing. I was like, wait a minute. And then we turned everything on. Oh man. And it was like you couldn't touch anything.
Mm-mm. And I think he did one like he played like 2 matches like that. And he's like, nope, I can't do this. Fuck this shit.
Yeah, because I think like within the first 3 turns he was crashing. And when you crash, like if you rub anything just a little bit, it would your drivetrain would lean.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you're being pulled a little bit, and because you're being pulled, your tires are wearing. So now you have a lot less traction. Like it was a bunch of shit that made the game dope, but I liked it. I like the full sim racing aspect, and it still is there's an arcade aspect because the braking and the turning, just they couldn't nail it in Forza like that.
No. And that's always been a couple of my issues with the game. Like I like it, but when I want to go race, like I want to race. Like we played Need for Speed, and a lot of the stuff in it, kind of pisses me off sometimes because it's like this is too fucking arcadey because like at a certain point you lack skill and it doesn't matter, right? Like
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
that annoys me.
I could go 100 miles an hour into a curve, motherfucking just downshift, e-brake, and slide through it,
Yeah, it's just like no,
and I'm good.
yeah, and like I see the appeal of it, but at the same time, it's like, that's why, like I told you, I fell in love with GT Sport because it's like you have a certain class of cars, and it's like if you picked a bad car, that's on you. But if you still do good, it shows that you're very skilled, right?
Oh yeah,
And
and that was like, I don't know. To me, that's always an accomplishment, man. I want to take the lesser of the cars and beat the
mhm,
super car. Like I want to be able to build, tweak, and modify my car to the point where I'm smacking people in Lambos. Like, you brought a Lambo to this race? What an idiot! like, like,
fair
like
enough.
that's how I like to. That's why I like Forza so much because you could tweak it. I remember. I mean, don't get me wrong. Forza is the stepsister to Gran Turismo, and it's Gran Turismo was the one that gave me the bug. Like,
Yeah,
and I hope at some point one of these two games gets drifting correct,
it would
and
be nice.
and there should be two styles of drifting going on here. There should be like a tandem drift, which would be fire, and there should be the point style drift system because I like that.
Yeah,
That's, to me, I like that arcade aspect of it. The point style drift system. There's some purists who hate it because it's not real drifting, bro. But fuck you.
who was it
It's
that we
fun.
got into that?
Renji. Renji.
Yeah, you already knew where I was going with that.
Yes. Yeah.
Motherfucker knock
Yeah.
on your door and be like, "It's not my fault that you can't." Bitch, you just hit me.
Like, bro, first of all, in real drifting, when you bump somebody's door, it's it's a not it's a knock against you. You're not supposed to touch the other driver.
Yeah.
You're actually supposed to get so close that you could almost touch their door.
Mm-hmm.
But as they transition, you're supposed to back off and allow them to transition.
Yo.
And then and that's just one style of drifting. There's also competition drifting where people are trying to pass people.
Yeah. It depends on which
So,
variant, but at no time is like bumping the other car an acceptable thing
right.
because that's showing that you can't control your car because you just sent into me,
Exactly.
which is the transverse of what he
I
tried.
disagree.
Which is exactly what he tried to argue. He's like, no, it's not my fault. You can't control your car because I hit you. It's your lack of skill because you went too slow. And it's like,
No, I'm just being a dick.
no. This is what he said. Like legitimately what he said. And I'm like, wait, what? You hit me, so it's my fault because I went too slow. But the only reason you made the turn is because you hit me. Huh? It made my brain hurt, right? Like I don't understand, sir. I don't follow your logic, sir. And I think we did it to him once or twice, and then he didn't want to play no more because we petty as fuck, and people don't understand this, and it ends up bad for them. So I want to say that like life got him one time pretty good, but again, we like to beat you heads up to really rub it in. That's one of our things. And I want to say life got him once pretty decent, but it wasn't like bad. Like he was just trying to like show him that you're full of shit. And then like he still wasn't buying it, so I just may or may not have just wiped his ass out. I'm like, why can't you control your car? Again, I'm a little petty. Don't hate me for it, but you get what you asked for, motherfucker. Right? You don't say some dumb shit and don't expect me to come through and be like, oh, that's how we're doing it. You know, that's like we playing street ball, but like, oh, you ain't nobody call fouls down here, and then I catch you real hard, and then you're like, oh, that's a foul. It's like, bitch, no. We're only doing that shit just because it benefits you. Fuck you, motherfucker. You gonna catch these hands. But that's just one of those things. Like that's why, like I said, like with the Need for Speed. That's why I like it, but don't like it because you can't tell me that you're a legitimate better fucking racer in racing games than me, and you play Need for Speed, and that's all you can beat me in. I'd be like, well, we can put it on like 4 other games, and I'll scrape the shit out. If they have any semblance of like realism, you're gonna get scraped. And then it's just and that's when all the fucking excuses like you play this more, blah 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 come out. And it's just like, oh my fucking god. Those are always the fun arguments you can get in with people playing competitive anything really. Motherfuckers can't accept that you're better.
Yeah, I love when people try to justify that they suck. You know what I mean? It's like no, it's a viable play style.
Yeah, it's like no, sir.
You guys just won't go easy on me.
I wish the motherfucker would tell me that. Oh man. Exactly. Like I've heard that excuse more than once. Like
they basically do, dude. Yeah. They basically do.
Yeah, I've had that shit used against me more than once. Like you play more than so and so, blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, that's a personal problem. Like y'all wanted to smoke, like, you know what I mean? Like you're mad at me because I'm better than you because I put the time in the game. Like that don't make no fucking sense. Like that, huh? Like I don't understand the logic behind this, good sir. But then, like, I also do like I said, I'm really petty. Like, I'll call you out. Like, if you play something a ton and you still suck, I'm going to let you know. I'm like, well, you play this for hours on end and you still get your ass busted in it. And then feelings get hurt. But that's kind of like, that's just like, again, that's just part of it. You kind of get used to it after a while.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
That's why I say like certain things though, like when we play League of Legends or whatever, you're like, oh shit. It's like, yeah, some things will fucking get me fired up and like, okay, I'm on your ass now. As where other things won't, right? And it's like, bro, no. We can't be doing that bullshit, right? Like you can talk trash about this, that, XYZ, whatever, cool. It's not gonna phase me. But you say XYZ and then I'm like, I'm on your ass, motherfucker. Like I get mad about certain shit and like take League of Legends for example, right? I get mad at certain things on there. And it's because like one, when I'm not like if I'm not playing with you, I'm playing by myself or whatever, most of the people in the lobby have at least played as much as I have. Which means you've put quite a bit of time on the game. Not like an insane amount, but you put a decent amount of time on it. Most of them are probably fucking Smurfs. Right? So, when you do something like just blatantly stupid and then get mad at me, yeah, I'm gonna say some shit. Like, I keep my mouth shut. Like, I might be cussing you in my living room by myself, but I do that to me, right? Or my girl might be here. I'm like, this dumb motherfucker. You know what I mean? But I don't sit there and type it out and fucking all chat, whatever. Or the people on the other team that are like getting carried by their teammates fucking talking shit. And I'm just like, bro, you ain't done shit. Like, actually haven't done shit, but you talking to shit. What the fuck? Those are like the few of my like triggers. It's like, no. We're not doing this, good sir. Because again, like I if you're the carry on the team and you're beating my ass, cool. You can talk as much as you want. I got you whooping my ass, good sir. I've got to get good. But if you're like the dude running from every fight or whatever, it's like, nah, you don't get to talk. I'm sorry. Just you're the kid on the basketball team talking shit because y'all won the championship, but you ain't do shit. Like, shut the fuck up. Go sit your ass down. But I do find it quite amusing. I will say that at least.
Quite comical.
Yeah, it's like, bruv, no. But like I said, again, that's part of just the competitive landscape. You know, like you learn that there's going to be times that you just gotta, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it, hurt people's feelings.
Ooh-wee.
And they gonna have to learn one way or another. That's why I've always caught so much flack. I'll talk shit to anybody. I don't care if that's your kid. If you over here bumping his gums, he gonna get handled.
I mean, come from like a whole crew of shit talkers, so.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Number one being the most annoying, my guy.
Mm-hmm.
My guy Soy. Boy,
Some,
gonna talk you
and
out of
some of the
motherfucking video
shit
game.
he say, bro.
Oh, bro.
Soy, he sometimes I think he right, but he ain't right. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I think he legitimately believes some of the shit he says, and it's like, no, bro, that's not even what. Which I find hilarious as fuck. But this motherfucker, like a lot of times, likes just starting shit just to start shit. Like,
oh yeah,
it's wild.
Oh yeah, but he also hates when you do it to him.
Bro.
That's why I love doing it to him. Cause bro, I'll argue. I'll just counter argue. It's not even necessarily that I believe in what I'm arguing against. I just be wanting to argue sometimes, and it'd be fun to do.
And these
'Cause he
motherfuckers go in.
He gonna argue with you, and I know he is.
Yo, y'all got on a basketball thing one time. I walked away, went and had a cigarette, took a piss, came back, and they are still going at it. And by the time I come back, like I have to jump in the argument because the shit that's being said don't make no sense at this point. We just saying shit.
Now we just saying shit. That part.
I still think one of my favorites is when Soy's like, "Oh, you suck it at COD or whatever." And I'm like, "All right, so supposedly you're better than me at COD. All right, I'll let you have that one." I was like, "What else you better at me then?" Like nothing. It's like I got you in Madden, I got you in Rocket League. Name another game. And it's not really hating because, like I said, like I'm not saying it's like, oh, he's just ass. The motherfucker don't play nothing else, so yeah, I'm better than you, just on default, really, right? Like you don't play shit besides COD, you're not beating me in much else, bro. Like it's just not happening.
Nah, shit. Actually, he played FIFA like a motherfucker too.
Well, I know he has in the past, but has he recently though? That's the key.
That I don't know. Yeah, major.
Because he used to play Madden quite a bit too, but if he touched it or not, he'd get scraped. And like again, that's not me talking shit. Like
Nah, you've been playing it a lot lately.
Yeah, like your chances of beating me if you haven't played it much are not very high, right? Like, and he could be like, "Oh, I played for a month and be better than you." It's like, well, if I sat down and played nothing but COD, I'd be better than you because there's a lot of times where you do questionable shit, my G.
Get away with it.
Yes. Like we catch wins while you're dead, bro. Like that's not saying you're good. It's like, oh, I got 10 kills, but motherfucker, you only got 200 damage to my 1,000. Like you took my kills, bitch.
Right.
Like, God damn it! I see that shit in League of Legends all the time. Like I'll go look at the after report, be like, why the hell do I got 34 assists? And it'd be like, I did damn near the most damage. It's like, oh, okay, so I got KS the whole game. All right, well, fair enough. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
It is what it is. Like, there's some shit that I know I ain't that good at, so I just let it go. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. Like, if you better, then you better. It is what it is. Like, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. Because it's one of those things. Like, most games, if you're better than me, it's because I just don't play it, and I don't like. You're not gonna catch me playing it on my own. It's not a game I enjoy playing by myself. And if I only play when you're on, then by default you're gonna be better because I'm not putting in the time, right? That's on me. I'm not using an excuse. Hey, you're better because you play more, rightfully so. Not, it's not like an excuse. Oh, you just better because you play more. It's like, no, he put in the time to get good. I don't know all this stuff. I don't know what this does. I don't know what that does, right? That's part of playing games. It's like understanding the game is half of the battle. And if I don't play enough, then that's my damn fault.
True.
Because I can't like an example I have to use with that a lot of times, especially now. I could use Rocket League or League of Legends, either or, because you have to put time in the game on both of them to get good. You can't just pick it up and be like, I'm great, you know.
I mean, I could, but
Oh,
that's just me.
Not so sure about that one, good sir. But yeah, what am I drinking? I got caught mouth like a bitch. Get me a swig of this here. There's a lot to be said for stuff like that, you know. That's one of the things I was thinking about when I looked at that list, because a lot of them are sports games and competitive. Like, what's some like old school shit? Because I can't really remember a whole lot of the names of them. But like shit you used to play just for shits and giggles. Like, I only remember like the Marios and shit, right? Like, that's not real competitive.
I mean, there were other street racing games that
Motherfucking Battletoads, bro. Like, oh my god, you want to talk about having to help your buddy out? Like, you had to be like, bro, that would start fights because your homeboy would die. Oh, and you need his ass. It's like, no, bitch, you gotta stay alive. I can't do this on my own. That was the ultimate co-op game.
Yeah, that's fun.
That game was so fucking busted, but it was fucking fun.
I mean, outside of sports games, the games we came back to, like fighting games, I was heavy in fighting games.
I was too.
Racing games, there were other racing games that were good.
Yeah, we played at my friend's house. He had a Dreamcast for a minute, and it was like Virtual Fighter and whatever that one shooting game was that was out at the same time as Virtual Fighter. I can't remember the name of it now. So fucking long ago, and we only played it for a while because he got a PlayStation like 6 months later. And then we played the Tiger Woods. Oh, the Power Rangers fighting game. We had that.
That's one I don't remember.
It was a fighting game, like a head-to-head fighting game, Power Rangers. And then the F1 game, whatever year it was, I think those were our like the ones we played probably the most. So yeah, it's always had like a heavy helping of sports titles. I guess, yeah, like I played a lot of Pokemon with like my cousins and shit, but again, that's slightly competitive in its own right.
True. I mean, but once shooters really became a thing, that was it. Like, we were hooked.
Yeah. GoldenEye was like the staple for that. Like, that was the one that got just about everybody and their dogs started on.
Same with wrestling. Really, bro, N64 was hella pivotal for everything moving forward.
Yeah, to a degree, yeah.
Polygons.
N64 was like, they came out, knocked it out the box, bro. I mean, you think about it, everything really is built on the back of GoldenEye.
Yeah, to a big degree, like it had a huge influence on the gaming world. I'm trying to think of what else was out at that time, but not a lot. It was really the standard at the moment. Because we played that shit for a mad while. That game was so fucking broken too. Looking back on it now, I'm like, how the fuck did I enjoy that game so much? Again, I had a cousin that was a douche nozzle. A lot of the times when it came to gaming, and always like, this motherfucker would have. You couldn't just play GoldenEye just to play it. Like, you had the fucking golden guns or other bullshit. And it's just like, it was a fucking nightmare.
Oh man. So to me, GoldenEye, you get your first 4-player game.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, Tragedy and Fallen, some cheating motherfuckers. Because they would do two things. they wouldn't fight each other, so they were really teaming up,
Mm-hmm.
and they was watching screens.
Screen
Screen
watching
watching,
bitches.
bitch. Yeah, bruh. So what I would do is, if you gonna watch my screen, bitch, I'm gonna get on the other side of the wall and I'm gonna just eat a grenade. Because the
You did.
grenades used to, and they would explode through the wall and travel out.
Oh man.
So hell yeah, I became a suicide bomber. I get them motherfuckers all the time like that.
Yeah, you come up with some interesting ways to piss people off in those games. That's for fucking sure.
But oh man, Slappers Only was the truth. I mean, you think about it, Doc. I met you on Rainbow Six.
Yep.
Shit, we was hyped for the next Rainbow Six to come out.
That shit was so shit. Bro, that was such a fucking disappointment.
Thank God Call of Duty was there to fucking catch it.
Bro, for real. That was COD 4 too.
Mm-hmm.
Like if bro, 'cause that Rainbow Six was so doo-doo.
Bruh, they broke the game so bad. And they broke it trying to keep up with Call of Duty. That was the
Yep.
funniest part about it. Trying to fix aspects, but they just didn't do it right.
Yeah. That's kind of the
Which
hallmark
kinda
of
got
games.
that. Is Rainbow Six cheap right now? I might buy that shit. I would love to do a
Siege?
terrorist hunt.
Don't know. I don't think so. I wonder if they're coming out with a different one anytime in the near future. Just due to the popularity of it, right?
Yeah.
Currently. Like you said, I don't see a world where they technically do, right? Like there's really no point because people are still playing the fucking shit out of it. And they're with everybody else, you know, like you get the skins and then all that other shit. So it's like they just
Yep.
it's a constant, you know, money.
I was gonna say, what's the incentive to build new game when microtransactions are carrying?
Fucking hard carrying too. Yeah, I don't know. Like I
Maybe we get to the point though where everybody kind of adapts the fucking model that ESO has. They built one ESO and now they just release patches and updates to the game.
to a degree, but I think they're even looking at doing like possibly a overhaul on it or something. I heard, but there was no. It was one of those through the grapevine things, you know.
I mean, but that's what it takes. It should be. We're taking the next step forward and revolutionizing the game for a new game to come out.
Yeah.
And I feel like Unreal Engine. I don't know if it uses Unreal Engine, but if it does, Unreal Engine just got a major upgrade.
Yeah.
But there's also Windows 11 coming. There's more utilization of DirectX. What is it, 12, I believe. There's also RTX available now. I guess I should just call it ray tracing.
Yeah. Ray tracing stuff.
But I mean, there's a bunch of steps forward that it could take now.
Yeah.
Graphically. So I can understand why it's about time to move forward in the game. But for what it was and what it is, the game was actually fun.
Yeah. I just found it for $12.
So what did Brett get it?
I don't know if I got the $12 right now, to be honest with you.
This bitch.
I'm just saying.
Where'd you find it?
CD keys. You can get the deluxe edition. Oh, that's Xbox One. Hold on. Let me filter. Just like just the regular game with no shit is $11.89.
Bruh, I didn't mean for us to go off on a tangent about purchasing a game.
That happens. No, there's a lot of but it also facilitates like, you know, like I'm not a big fan of this Rainbow Six. I don't hate it. I'm just not a big fan of it either. Just because that's all you have, right? Is the um
Yeah, I didn't like the single player mode. They didn't give you enough game modes.
yeah, it's
To beat.
basically yeah.
And then they just kept trying to upsell you on new characters that were coming out. That was the selling point. That was their microtransaction. New
Mhm.
character about to be unleashed.
Pretty much.
I didn't like that shit. Um, I don't know. To me, for a game to carry on, you shouldn't. I don't know. I guess they got to make their money somehow. But shit, you just sold me a $60 game, bitch.
Yeah, and it's one of those like the matches can last a few seconds or last a long time, and then it's like
Mhm.
it's they really would like the CS:GO route of like this is all you got, and then you have Terrorist Hunt, and those are your two game modes. And it's like, okay,
So
that,
for me, Terrorist Hunt is worth $15 though.
I mean, well, yeah, fair enough, but at the same time, like even then, I'm gonna kind of get bored of it right after X amount of time. Like for me, there's no draw, there's no incentive to continue grinding and playing the fuck out of this game for hours on. And like, sometimes I do COD, right? When I'm trying to go
This
after
is true.
something. That's what I'm saying.
Very
Like,
true. I don't know.
I enjoy
They
it to
had
a
one-
degree, but
It
like,
was a one-trick pony
yeah,
for sure.
a lot of what I don't like is it feels so fucking slow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my god, it feels so slow. And it's like certain operators like you want to pick just because they're fast, but like then they have shit abilities and this, that, and other. And it's like, for me, that does take some of the appeal out of the game.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, but again, it is fun, and it is a game that I do enjoy because it does require a certain amount of skill, right? And again, that's always gonna have some type of appeal to me, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I've often thought about getting it, but I'm like, nah, I'd prefer to go back and play PUBG.
True. But no, to me, the T hunts was fun.
Yeah, that like again, that is probably one of the best aspects of the game.
And if I could get the game for about $15, I'd buy it. So
But-
I'll probably be purchasing that sometime.
I might. It just really depends. Like right now, I'm just
But no, I got enough games really.
yeah. My big thing is
Like I was telling you, I'm playing Crackdown, bruh. Crackdown 3 is fun.
yeah. And like I said, my biggest just sitting here waiting on Battlefield, man. We're not too far out. The beta should be dropping in the near future. And that's
Did you say Crackdown 3 was good?
yeah,
Because
that's what he's playing before.
I
the show.
liked Crackdown 1.
Oh, Crackdown 3 is Crackdown 1 just way better.
Fuck yeah, because I thought they really shit the bed with Crackdown 2.
Nah, that shit is fun, bruh. And it is it's pretty intense. It's pretty fucking intense. They did not make it easy at all.
I might install that shit. Crackdown 1 was the shit.
Oh, well, if you do, let me know. They definitely got a co-op.
Is it just the 2-player still, or did they expand
That
it?
I don't know.
Need to look into that. If we can get all three of us on it, hey.
That might be another story.
Yeah. You gonna make me install the motherfucking game.
Oh, except I can't right now because my Wi-Fi's out. Great. Nice. Wonderful.
The realizations of the world are always good.
That's real Fergalicious.
That's hilarious. What else? What else is everybody else playing? Anybody playing anything new?
No.
Playing the Surge 2. That's about it. That we haven't discussed. Oh, Disgaea. I'm giving that a try, but I don't know much about it enough to really talk about it so much. It's an RPG. But the Surge 2 is one of those, like, fucking almost Dark Souls style games, but it's with fucking like robots. Almost like I don't know, they wear these like exoskeletons, and the main mechanic is to go up and like cut off people's arms and salvage their pieces of their exoskeleton so that you can buff your own, and it's actually pretty sweet. Not gonna lie.
Fair enough. That sounds kind of interesting.
Oh, and just for the record, it's only a co-op. It's only 2-player
Ah,
co-op.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Which, man, I need to revisit. Damn, I was about to say Battlefield, Borderlands. I gotta go back to Borderlands 3 a little bit too. Got so many games, bro.
Yeah, that does become a problem. Yeah, I was telling Andrew the other day that we needed to all three get on some Need for Speed Heat just to act stupid again, but
For sure.
because I was thinking about telling him to install Forza, but on his internet that'd take 2 years.
No, I'm always down to play some Need for Speed.
Feels
Yeah, it's just because Forza's massive. It's like 90 gigs, bro. It's retardedly huge.
Hella fun though.
Yeah, if you have the right people, it's fucking mad fun.
And I gotta go reclaim my goddamn top spot. Take some time and get my drift game back together.
You gonna make me bust out the drift wagons again?
I got a few whips that's drifting real nice.
I think I had just the same old one, so like I'd have to get back in there and like remember how they worked and all that good shit. Especially since like they're all huge muscle fucking cars and shit. Like
Yeah.
they're
I'm about
fucking.
to say, you used to love them shits.
They was wild, bro. Like it was
What, drifting Impalas, 6'4" Impalas and shit like that, Novas.
Yo. Yes, sir. Yeah, and I what was the other one I had? I had shit, I'm trying to think of the other one. What the fuck was the name of that car? Oh, I can't remember the thing, but like I always liked the body style, but it wasn't exactly like the best vehicle per
Yeah.
se. But yeah, I don't got much else. You guys got much else?
No, not much else for me. Joy?
nah, that's about a wrap for me too.
All right. Yeah, we didn't have a whole lot to go over this week, but hopefully we have some more news next week on some new stuff coming out. Again, I'm gonna try to be streaming some more this week. Catch me on my Twitch. Yeah, other than that, y'all bitches get on my level. I'll let you next time.